Hi, I'm Congressman Scott Perry. At the beginning of each week that Congress is in session, I send out a brief update about the bills the House of Representatives likely will consider. The bills this week are as follows. H.R. 5781, the California Emergency Drought Relief Act of 2014, which will provide short-term water supplies to drought-stricken areas of California. H.R. 5385, 5794, 4030, 5562, and 55687 all deal with the renaming of various postal facilities throughout the U.S. H.R. 579, 1378, 5146 all deal with the renaming of U.S. federal courthouses. H.R. 4926 designates the James L. Oberstar Memorial Highway and the James L. Oberstar National Scenic Byway in the state of Minnesota. Senate 1434 and Senate 2921 renamed two community-based health outpatient clinics in Kansas and Illinois. Senate 229, the Corporal Michael J. Crescenz Act of 2013, which designates the medical center of the Department of Veterans Affairs located in Philadelphia as the Corporal Michael J. Crescenz Department of Veterans Affairs Medical Center. H.R. 5086 amends the National Trail System Act to conduct a study on the feasibility of designating the Chief Standing Bear National Historic Trail. H.R. 5699, the John Muir National Historic Site Expansion Act, authorizes the Secretary of the Interior to acquire approximately 44 acres of land in Martinez, California. H.R. 5701, the Western Oregon Indian Tribal Lands Act, requires that certain federal lands be held in trust by the United States for the benefit of federally recognized tribes in the state of Oregon. Senate 1000, the Chesapeake Bay Accountability and Recovery Act of 2014, which requires the Director of the Office of Management and Budget to prepare a cross-cut budget for the restoration activities in the Chesapeake Bay watershed. H.R. 5705, the Propane Education and Research Enhancement Act of 2014, directs the U.S. Department of Commerce to more accurately calculate consumer propane costs. It also enables the propane industry to use its resources to mitigate price spikes. H.R. 5185, the EARLY, the Early Act Reauthorization of 2014, which reauthorizes the Young Women's Breast Health Education and Awareness Requires Learning Young Act of 2009. H.R. 5764, the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative Act of 2014, which funds will be used to address the most significant challenges facing the Great Lakes, including aquatic invasive species, habitat and wildlife protection and restoration, contaminated sediment, and non-point source pollution. Senate 2759 released the city of St. Clair, Missouri from all restrictions on the St. Clair Regional Airport. H.R. 5059, the Clay Hunt SAV Act, which is a comprehensive bill to prevent veteran suicide and help our nation's heroes who may be struggling to get care and support they need. H.R. 5656, the Global Food Security Act of 2014, which authorizes the Feed the Future initiative to reduce global poverty and hunger in developing countries on a sustainable basis. H.R. 2901, the Senator Paul Simon Water for the World Act, which would strengthen the implementation of the Senator Paul Simon Water for the Poor Act of 2005. Senate 1683, the Naval Vessel Transfer Act of 2013, which provides for the transfer of naval vessels to certain foreign recipients. Senate 1691, the Border Patrol Agent Pay Reform Act of 2014, which would place limits on the amount of overtime pay received by Border Patrol agents by changing the rules for overtime compensation. The House may also consider a consolidated and further continuing appropriations bill for fiscal year 2015. Finally, it may also consider legislation related to the Terrorism Risk Insurance Act, or TRIA. If you have any questions, or if I may be of any assistance to you or your family in any way, please contact me at perry.house.gov. That's perry.house.gov. Again, I'm Scott Perry, and I hope you have a fantastic week.